My dad was in the military. We were in military housing in a lot of places. And then when that kind of ended, we moved to Virginia to just as like find a place to start over. Then, but my grandma lived in Florida, so that's where we ended up at.
Huh.
Yeah,
Got it. And when did dance enter your life?
that was in San Diego. I think I was 11, if I remember
So
clear
the
enough.
last year before you left.
Yeah.
Oh dang.
So yeah, I started like I found it like at a military base. My dad like because my dad loved bowling, so like we would go to a military base every Mondays and like go to the bowling alley, and I would just go outside and play in the playground or go to the arcade. And I was outside and like I don't know how these kids got there, but there was like this circle happening outside of the bowling alley, and they were like all dancing, and I was like, and I was asking my brother, I was like, "What is that?" And he was like, "That's called breakdancing." And I was like, "Oh, how do you know?" And he's like, "Because I know how to do it."
Oh snap.
Yeah, I didn't tell you guys the story. Before?
No.
No. Okay. Well.
That's exactly what this is for.
Exactly.
Yeah. I thought you guys knew about the story, but yeah. So my brother was like, "Yeah, it's called breakdancing," and I didn't know that he knew how to do it. You know, he kind of like he learned it down for some kids down the street, and I thought he was lying. And he was like, "When I get home, I'll show you like that I know how to do it." And I was
Oh,
like, "Okay."
snap.
He didn't want to do it in front of the guys because I guess he wasn't at that level, but. He was like, "When I get home, I'll show you." And then we got home, and then he showed me windmills, and they were like the most beautiful windmills, or just the most beautiful sight I've ever seen. Like, like it was one of those eye-opening moments where you're like, "That's magic." That's because I was like 11, like so, like my brother was like a superhero to me.
How old is your brother? Or
He's
what's the
9
age
years older
difference? Okay.
than me, and before that, he had got me into drawing. He like he was like kind of like my hero when I was little.
Dope.
And he was kind of like my father figure, and like,
Oh,
and
dang,
yeah, he was like, he did Dungeons and Dragons, like I think that's how I, Dungeons and Dragons, bro, like that's how I got into like storytelling because his imagination opened my mind and like how he told the stories through Dungeons and Dragons and like, so he's just like the person who got me started into like mostly everything creative. It was my brother Kevin and my other brother Aaron too. Like the three of us like started a whole breakdancing crew after all that, and like
So you had total of 3 boys.
yeah, it's three of us and have a sister.
You have a sister as well.
Yeah,
Are you youngest?
I'm the youngest.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh dang, and
Dope.
you started a b-boy crew with your brothers.
yeah,
That's freaking dope.
Yeah, it
What
was
the
cool.
name of the crew?
Three Brothers Grimm.
Ah,
It was cool, man. It was like,
That's
and I was the
good.
youngest, and like it's like when you get introduced to a word, you like see it everywhere.
Mm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like so, like I didn't know what breakdancing was, but then all of a sudden I was just like introduced to Beach Street, and like we had like no furniture in our house because like because of money and stuff. So like we turned our whole back room into like a cardboard floor, and like
Dope.
we had a TV with a VCR. With,
I love the nonchalance that
Beach
you said
Street.
that. Yeah, we had no furniture, money and stuff.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
like it was cool though. Like we had
Yeah.
like we preferred it, so we had like the space to dance. Like
Mhm.
That's
so it was kind of
amazing.
cool. Yeah, so like we just did that for a while, and then like we started hearing about house parties. Like because back then they just did house parties in garages.
Mhm.
So like they were like, we would hear about through word of mouth, and we'll just show up. And like when you're new at something, and like there was something about it that I feel like I was just natural at. Like it was something that I felt confident. Like, and I was small, so you kind of have that like that reputation of like I'm little and I could do it and I could do this. So like I could get away with a lot. You know what I mean? So it was like a certain confidence when I was little, and then so I like entered competitions at these house parties and like, and I always get like great reactions from like different crews, and they would always want to put me in their crew, and I was like yeah, and my brothers, and they're like and they're like yeah, they could come too, and I was like yeah, Kevin, let's get in this crew, like so like, and that's kind of like it just like snowballed from there,